If you're a white belt struggling to maintain top control or top pressure, you're at the right place. We're gonna cover some fun and easy movements that you can do to practice the necessary moves to maintain that pressure, but also the principle behind why these things work and how you can move forward with them. So without further ado, let's jump in. So before we get started, you probably noticed that I'm in the other location. We've made a lot of good progress in here. As you guys can see, we've got most of the mats done. We still got to tighten these up, but we've got the logos up. We got the battle axes up. We got lockers being put together in the very back. We've also begun to set up a bench system that's built into the wall here. The Viking oars up top for decor. And of course, sometimes backwards, always forwards. We're having our first open mat this Saturday, so if you're in the area, come check us out because we're always more than happy to have new faces in here. All right, let's jump into the video. I've been training jiu-jitsu for 9 years, and as a brown belt, these are some of my favorite ways and most simple ways to maintain top pressure. Some of these drills have come in handy for me in such a way that they've become foundational for me in my training and have changed the course of my development. So I'm hoping that in one way or another, you can gain the same amount of value that I have. Now, before we cover these specific movements, I want to present you a principle that you can take with you that you'll see all over the place in jiu-jitsu. Now, I've talked about this in previous videos, but it's seeing with your body, right? A lot of times new people to jiu-jitsu want to see with their eyes. They look at what they want. They try to see what's happening. When in actuality, the higher up practitioners are seeing with their body, whether it's their chest, their stomach, their hands, their feet. You don't necessarily need to keep your eyes on what's happening. And a lot of times, if any of you have ever sparred or grappled with wrestlers are really great at doing this because they practice so much. Now, I come from a wrestling background, and I can tell you that when I am rolling, I can tell what you're gonna do. I can almost sense what the next movement is based off how your body feels underneath me. And I think a big misconception of what we do with that information is that as wrestlers or people who are good at top pressure are constantly pinning or even stapling you, the opponent, to the mat. When in actuality, what I'm doing is I'm flowing around you. If I'm losing a position, I'm shifting to another position that gives me dominance. I'm not sitting there holding on for dear life. That's not what it's about. If I can get to a good pin and you can't get out, cool. But sometimes people start to find their way out and you have to shift to different positions. And this is exactly what these movements are going to teach you. And they also teach you to pay attention by seeing with your body. And you combine all of that together, you become a really big menace on the mats when obtaining top pressure. This first example, roll throughs, are a perfect example of being able to see with your body and also adjusting to pressure. So as you can see in this example here, my opponent starts to roll towards me. Instead of trying to pin him down completely, I lift my chest, allowing him to roll through. I then drop my weight through my chest onto his shoulder, and I walk my legs to his back. Now he rolls flat and starts to roll back into me. I do the same thing. I pick my chest up, place it on his shoulder, pinning pressure, and then I rotate my feet back behind him. Now this teaches you a few things. One, it teaches you to rotate to the back if you have the opportunity to. I see a lot of new guys that'll rotate to the front where all the defenses are. I don't want to play jiu-jitsu with someone where all their defenses are, up front where their hands and legs are. If I have the opportunity to get to the back, I'll take it. And this drill is perfect for that. It also teaches you that you don't necessarily need to pin someone down. If you start to lose a pin and they start rolling into you, this is a great opportunity to pick your weight up, drop it down on their shoulder, and walk to the back. I'll let it play through a couple of times so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And I just want to take a second to give my sponsor, X Martial, a shout out. On the mats, you've got seconds to react and sometimes even less. You train for hours to move with precision. Your gear should keep up. X Martial makes high quality, high performance no-gi gear. The fit is clean and the material Durable, breathable, and built for battle. One thing I can't stand about certain no-gi brands is how quickly the material falls apart and how quickly the designs wash away. Literally every single one of my rash guards that I own from X-Martial has stood the test of time. I've been training jiu-jitsu for 9 years and I still have rash guards that look brand new. And since we're talking about the designs, they're original, they're unique, they help you look good. If you're gonna go compete and you don't feel you look your best, you think that's helping you in your performance, you wanna go out and feel good about the person that you've built. And no-gi attire definitely helps with that. So if you want to look as good as me and probably even better, get over to xmartial.com and grab yourself some gear. I know you'd be happy you did. Look good, feel sharp, roll hard. Let's get back to the video. All right, number 2, knee on everything. Now, I really like this one because it teaches the importance of knee on belly, but also shows you that you can put your knee elsewhere. Now, keep in mind, knee on belly is great for pinning. If I move to knee on shoulder, this is transitionary, right? I'm not trying to pin someone's weight down by pinning my knee on their shoulder. You have to be careful with people inverting here. People who are savvy with leg locks are gonna have a heyday because they can flip up, invert, and begin to enter in knee bars and everything else that they're good at. So just keep in mind, this drill is great for moving around the belly with knee on belly, knee on shoulder pressure, which I still use. I use knee on belly for pinning, and I use knee on shoulder for navigating, getting to something else, whether it's north-south, whether it's rotating to the back, whatever it may be. That is a very transitionary position, while knee on belly we can hang out there for a minute. So as we check the example, this is exactly what's happening. I start in knee on belly and then I switch sides. I jump to the other side and then I can move into knee on shoulder. Now in a very savvy way, I'm jumping to the other shoulder with my other knee. Once I'm there, I can drop down into knee on belly on the same side, and then I'm jumping sides back into knee on belly on the other side. I can run this circle indefinitely. Not only is this great for the movement aspect and the coordination aspect, but it's also great cardio. This one gasses me out every time, especially if you do it long enough. And as you can see, I'm making all the effort in the world to keep my hands on my opponent. Every now and then, if I have to, I'll put my hands on the ground if I'm losing my balance. The more points of contact you have on your opponent, the more control you have of that opponent. So obviously, if I have to put my hands on the ground, fine, so be it. But if I keep my hands on their body, it just gives me better control of that person. One of the things I like most about knee on belly is it does give me good control, but it's also a great way to exhaust my opponent. If I can drop my knee on their diaphragm, the area just under their ribs, it's even more brutal. But I will say the area you want to avoid is their hip girdle, because that's all bone. It's not going to do anything to obstruct their breathing. It's not going to make their life difficult at all. They're probably just going to rest, which is exactly what they're going to do while you put your knee on their hip girdle. You want to move up into the soft area of the belly or the diaphragm to really make that work the best for you. If you guys aren't using this one yet, I highly recommend you throw it into your training regime. This last one is around the world. This is really great for keeping and maintaining mount, but also knowing when to transition away from mount. If there's one thing white belts do, is that they hold on to mount too long. Whether they're getting rolled, swept, whatever it may be, white belts tend to hold on for dear life to mount. And sometimes the best way to keep a position is to know when to let go of it, right? If I want to keep top control, and I'm losing mount, I know it's tempting to hold on for dear life, but if you're losing it, you're losing it. Transition to something else. This drill is gonna show you exactly that. So as you can see here, I'm in mount with my training partner. He begins to roll. Now, instead of trying to pin him down or holding on for dear life and losing the position, I drop into technical mount, right? And as he begins to give me back exposure because he builds to a table, I get both my hands or my underhooks into his armpits and I get my feet into his inner thighs. As he begins to build himself into a table, I become a backpack and I get a seatbelt grip if I can. One arm going past his neck while the other hand comes through his armpit connecting with my top hand. Now from here, I'm gonna pick a side to roll, and your training partner is gonna be a good partner. They're not resisting you, they're just gonna fall to the direction you want. And typically you can lean your body weight in that direction. Once you get good at this, you can actually force people to that side. But if you're brand new, this is just good to get reps in. Make sure you're being good training partners to each other and just going with the flow. As he begins to fall to that side I've chosen, he's also then going to begin rolling into me. I'm going to take my top hand and reach across and either grab his shoulder, his armpit, his lat, whatever I can grab on that other side of his body. As I let go of my grip with my feet. I then begin to take my top leg, swing that over, kicking into his hamstring or his hip area. And as you can see, I can rotate myself back into mount from here. So essentially, in losing positions and transitioning to something else, I've found myself all the way back to mount. This is jiu-jitsu. This is a beautiful way to go with the flow without trying to force things. This is technique over power, and it works so well. And again, like the first two, you can run this on a loop indefinitely, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you want. And it's great for movement and coordination, but it's also great for cardio. It's great for building stamina. You do this enough, it starts to wear you out, but it's movements that correlate directly to jiu-jitsu. So you could even use this as a warm-up. Instead of doing butt kicks and running around the room and doing moves that have nothing to do with jiu-jitsu, you can do movements that directly relate to jiu-jitsu, and it can also be a warm-up, and you're also getting better at the same time. So if you're not using this one yet, highly recommend you try it. It's one of my favorites, and it's definitely helped with me improving my game when it comes to mount retainment. If you guys have other drills that you like to do, or other games, other movements you like to do that help teach you top pressure, drop them in the comments below. I always say that we're learning from each other in here. We're building a community where we're all helping each other, and I could be more happy or proud of that. So with that, you know how we like to end them, sometimes backwards, always forwards. I'll see you in the next one.